6 pieces of drumsticks. They were already rinsed in water, and of course they are defrosted. However, I'm going to go ahead and clean them one more time using white vinegar. And this is just a rinse. Don't leave them soaking in the vinegar. Again, this is just a rinse. I'll flip them. Okay, now I'll dispose of the vinegar. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some cuts on this side all the way through until it reaches the bone. You could do the other side too if you want. The flavor goes in deeper, and I believe it cooks faster too. Okay, here we go. Okay, they're all done. Again, I'm using 6 pieces of drumsticks. You can use any chicken that you want. You can use chicken thighs. You can use chicken cutlets. You can use any chicken you like. Want to make sure there's no vinegar in there. Okay, now that that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and put them inside the crock pot. With my hands. Okay, we're going to be using this crock pot today. It's an electric crock pot, so we're going to use that today. I'm going to start by adding a little bit of organic extra virgin olive oil. You can use any oil you might have handy. You don't have to use this exact one. Just enough. I just want to make sure nothing's going to stick to the bottom. I'm going to add my chicken. It doesn't matter which way you put them in. Just put them in there in any order. This is where we start adding all the ingredients, okay? So I'm going to start by using the most popular one, which is adobo. Any brand will do. It doesn't have to be Goya, Bahia, or any other. I'm going to start by adding 1 full teaspoon. I'm going to do the same thing with this complete seasoning. And I'll have a picture posted so you can see everything that we're using. Okay, same thing. 1 teaspoon. I'm using some sazon with achote. You can use this or you can use that one. It doesn't matter. This one has individual packages. You can use 1 or 2 packages depending on how much you're making, or you can use this one. And again, I'm going to be using half. I can always add more later if I want it to become a little more yellow. We're going to add garlic powder. And I like garlic powder, so we're going to add half of that. Move this over. Oregano. We're going to sprinkle some oregano. Onion powder. We're going to add some onion powder. It depends on your onion powder. This one's a little moisture has gotten into it, I guess, from camping, but it's still good. So we're just going to put it in there. Oh, that's going to melt anyway. Now follow me while we go outside to get some fresh recao and oregano brujo. Follow me. let's see. Rican, I'm gonna grab me at least 4 leaves. And oregano brujo, I'm gonna grab me 1, 2. 2 should be enough for the amount of chicken I'm making. Now that we got that from outside, we're just gonna put them in here. I'm gonna keep them whole. These I cut them in half, but the rest I'm gonna keep them in whole. This is the oregano brujo, and this is the recao. Others might know it by cilantro. If you have cilantrillo, you can throw it in there. It doesn't matter. What I do is I just throw a little of everything I find in my cabinets. But anyway, here's 1 bay leaf. I like bay leaves, so I'm going to throw 2 in there. And if you don't have any of these fresh, if you don't have any of these fresh herbs, you can always find them diced up in containers, either in Walmart or Publix or any other place you might shop, like Winn-Dixie. It doesn't matter. We don't all have the same stores depending on where you live, but here in Florida you'll find all this. I'm going to add, sofrito. Sofrito is a combination of all these herbs and spices. You can say onions and peppers and cilantro and recao. I like to buy them in the container and then let them defrost a little bit and add them in plastic bags. It's easier to break those containers once you freeze them. You gotta be poking them. Sometimes I make holes in the container, so it's easier for me just to put them in plastic bags. You can homemade these sofritos too, which I have, but not often, but I have made it too. And if you say how much I used like maybe a 1/4 cup of each. One is called recaito, which is more orange, and then you got the sofrito, which is more green. That's the only difference. However, we're also going to use some diced garlic. I love garlic and it's good for you, so look at that. Almost a whole teaspoon. You add what you like and don't add what you do not like. We're going to add a whole can of tomato sauce. If you like, you can add diced tomatoes. They also come in the can and they come with flavors. You can buy them already with spices and herbs, garlic. But I'll add the tomato sauce because that's what I have. And next, and I believe is last, is the chicken broth. I'm going to put the whole container here if it fits in here. If you don't have this, you can add water, but this has a little bit more flavor than water. Now when you add in your spices, look to make sure you're not adding too much salt, because the adobo and the chicken broth and most of these spices already come with salt. I'm going to stir a little bit just to kind of get everything in there moving. You can eat this just the way it is after it's cooked, or you can have some white rice on the side and beans, of course. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some carrots because I have carrots. You can add potatoes, but I won't be adding diced potatoes because I have none. But you can add that too. This is what they call sweet peppers. I'm gonna break it apart and make sure there's no seeds in here. just toss it in there, because again, I can pull this out later when everything is cooked. It's easier to find in one piece than trying to find 4 or 5 little pieces. Okay, making sure all the seeds are out. There we go. And what I would do is let it cook for at least 4 hours. Take the lid off and taste it. If you like the flavor, fine, and if you think there's something else missing, go ahead and don't be afraid to add more of whatever it is you think you might need of the dry ingredients that you already have in there. Okay, so and we'll be back in 4 hours and see what that looks like. I hope this helped you. Also, you can throw in some mixed frozen vegetables in there if you like, which I might add later, I might not, it depends. But anyway, this is all set, and I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write them in the comments. I usually look at my channel and look for comments or questions you might have. So don't hesitate to do that. After 4 hours on high, I lowered it to low. I also tasted it for some flavor, and I added a little bit more of these 3 ingredients just to give it a little more flavor. Okay, I'm going to leave it there on low for another 4 hours. Okay, we'll see how that turns out. After 6 hours, it's done. Look at that. The chicken falls right off the bone. Look at that. So now all you have to do is just kind of remove all these little herbs. If you like, or you could just leave them in there. Look at that. And it does taste amazing. I had it on for 6 hours. You can do 4 to 6 on high or 8 to 10 hours on low. Experiment with different herbs. Don't be afraid. It just gets better. The more you make it, the better it'll get. See? And the easier it'll get for you. Okay? What I did is after 4 hours, I tasted it. I added a little bit more spices. And the reason I did that was because I'm home to keep an eye on it. If not, it's okay. You can always add afterwards. You don't have to add it in between. Now, if you're going to eat this with rice, you go ahead and make the rice. And what I do is I just add 1.5 cups of water for every cup of rice. Now, you can also do this with beef. You can follow the same instructions. All you have to do is just add beef instead of chicken and add beef broth instead of chicken broth. Okay? Hope you guys enjoy this. Hopefully there'll be more to come. I'll dedicate this dish to my sons They love this food. They love my chicken. So now they can make it. Here's for you guys. Mom loves ya.